You see, something is going to happen. Something wonderful.
My God, it's full of stars.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the NY Patriot Show. Thank you for tuning in this week. This will be my Friday show going live, and I will be dropping this on podcasts as soon as we're done. If this is your first time coming across this channel, you happen to hit the play button, thank you very much. I highly suggest to give my man Jonah a chance over here to present the topic he's going to present. And I highly suggest to go back and check out other episodes that I have done with him and other people. If you enjoyed this show, I'm sure you will enjoy the plethora of other guests I have had on in the past. And yes, I use plethora again, Jonah, because I know you didn't understand it last time.
No, I'm retarded.
I saw you in chat. You're like, what's plethora?
No, I know exactly what it is. That's probably with my...
It's all right. It's all right. And I do have a few things, unfortunately, I just want to cover real quick. And I just, unfortunately, just stuff that I have to address that I really would rather have not had to, but unfortunately I do. I had made a comment on a show that I did with Raven that I thought was going to go out a lot earlier. So people may end up hearing this again a month or so later. Probably disregarded at that point, but I'm just going to say it now because this episode is going out today. I do have a new Twitter account. The link for that is in the bottom. The old Twitter going forward for the Occult Rejects, that is not me. None of the lives will be going there. Nothing will be posted from there from our show. So if you go there for the lives or my posts, that account is not me. Unfortunately, and a lot of people may not know this yet, I did end up breaking up with Lux, moving on. And a few days later, unfortunately, because he was upset, which I understand, he ended up changing the password to Twitter and the password to our email, so I cannot get on Twitter anymore. That is not our account. Now, just because there's a blue check mark now doesn't mean it's legit either. And the funny thing is, I just want to add, which I don't understand, is that for the 1 year and 11 months, not 3 years, for the 1 year and 11 months that we did a show, we had 4 YouTube channels that he never once made. He never once made any accounts because he was afraid to put in a phone number. But now, since the show is over with, you're okay with handing Elon Musk, who you've shit on numerous times, he was okay handing him money and handing his phone number over. That makes no sense to me, why something like that would be going on. It's a little weird, but I just want to point out that that is not my Twitter, and that is not associated with Occult Rejects and Friends, which is what the show will be going forward. Lux is not a part of it. He has taken over that Twitter, paid for a check mark. For what reason, I don't know. He said he's going to archive it, and he has not. So I don't know what the deal is, but that Twitter is not mine. So if anybody's getting conversations out of it, it is not me. You're not going to be talking to me or seeing anything from any of the shows going forward being dropped on there unless he's nice enough to post it for me, which I doubt he's going to do. So you will not be catching our lives either. So, and just to get it out real quick, I've already spoken enough on this. It's wasted too much time. But like I said before, going forward, the Occult Rejects and Friends, because I had to change the name, even whatever, will not have him. And I know I've already had numerous people go on and ask me why, and I really didn't want to have to give reasons why. I did not want to have to get into petty stuff. But unfortunately, I'm just going to be honest about certain things. The reason why, and I'm saying this because people listen to shows, they listen to people's voices and think you know them. I say that over and over and over again. Well, I even got had. Since day one, I have been told numerous pathological, in-depth stories that are not true at all. I was lied to and taken total advantage of. It's embarrassing for me to even come out and to admit any of this. I was told the most outlandish stories, and I believed it because I wanted to. Because I wanted to keep that show going, I kept on eating shit. I'm not going to anymore. I have more respect for myself than that. If you want to hear his voice so bad, go listen to his show. I will not have him on with me when he has lied to me for a year and 11 months over numerous things. If you go look at the Twitter page, it says 3 years ago we started the show because that's the only way his lies will make sense. He told me for the first year that we were together that his job that he was not working at all anymore for over a year was a reason why he had to cancel shows. And most people, this is a shocker, we have broken up before and nobody knew. Why? Because you did not have 6,000 people to listen to you cry on Twitter, Lux. You didn't say anything because I was catching you in your bullshit then. You told me another lie that you now lost the job and you'll be more available for Occult Rejects. It just kept going on. I was told a complete lie and tons of bullshit stories that were never true. They may have been true from 2 years ago, but it was not today. And I was fed lies about why we had constantly had to reschedule, why we constantly had to do this. I can't do that anymore. I feel like a complete fucking jackass, honestly, that I listened to that shit and kept eating it. I can't do it anymore, and I'm going to be totally honest with you. When it comes to stuff like this, occultism, magic, secret societies, I do not want a pathological liar on my show talking to my listeners. That is fucking dangerous, and I will not have that. So you can think I'm a horrible person. You can think I'm an asshole. I'm sure when he hears this, he'll cry on Twitter and try to get his sheep or his flock to feel bad for him. But I'm not going to continue to do something with a pathological liar and somebody who I know for a fact has been lying to the listeners for almost 2 years. I can't do it. I'm sorry. That is the end. I'm getting worked up. I don't want to get into it anymore. But I just need to let that be known. I need to let that be straightened out. I did everything for that show. I made everything. I did the intros. I did fucking everything for that show. It's not his. He does not own that shit. Everything is under my fucking name paid for. Through Spreaker and through other programs. It is not his, and he's acting like it is. That is not his Twitter. My Twitter is in the links. If you want to catch the lives, check that out. And going forward, Occult Rejects and Friends, yes, we'll keep going forward without him. So it may be a week or two before something new drops, but that RSS feed is still live and the show will still keep going. So there's that. Sorry about that. I really needed to get that out because I just don't understand why 2 weeks later now we're paying for blue check marks. It's just childish games. If you were to see the behaviors that are going on now, you should have an idea why I don't have him as a co-host. Enough said. Now, going forward, I'll introduce my amazing, unpathological lying co-host from Canada, Teresa. Would you like to introduce yourself and your podcast?
Sure. Yeah. So far, unpathological. Yeah. What's up? I'm Teresa. I'm sure everyone listening probably knows who I am already, but yes, we do have another show together, which they may not have heard. Called the Spiritual Gangsters podcast, which is quite different than this show. So people might want to check it out. It's a little more relaxed and like, I don't know, informal, I guess.
Oh, yeah, much more laid back. Well, it's laid back and a lot more personal in some aspects.
Yeah.
Which is why I do like it.
Yeah. So it's usually, with very awake and aware people and their personal stories and transformation. Sometimes we do talk about other stuff. I think next week we have an episode coming out about Kanye West. So that'll be a cool one. But yeah, it's fun. And please check it out.
Awesome. And today I have back somebody, you've been on my show, haven't you, twice already, Jonah?
Twice, yeah.
Yeah, I was looking for let me see what kind of show notes. I've used before for you. And I was like, I only see one in my podcast. Maybe I named it something else and didn't include your name. I don't know. But he has been on.
One was pulled, right? One was put on the private.
Oh, okay, all right.
The one about what was it called? The limited hangouts and the cognitive warfare.
Yes.
That was put on private.
Okay, so I mean, I have done other shows with him before. He's been on General Lee's show. I was going to let him plug. He has kind of gone over the topic he's going to cover today with General Lee, if you want to go listen to that also. But if you're in the Element server or if you jump in on these lives, I'm sure if you jump on the lives, you know who the hell Jonah is. So,
yeah,
the
most
most
expensive one there.
Yeah. And if you're an Element, you know who Jonah is. We got one of our Element boys with us. And I do want to mention real quick, since there's people here now, me and Algorithm will be going live. Another Element server, person, someone who helped set it up. Part of the Supernal Triad, Asha, Alga, and Helen. They set up the Element server. I will be going live with Alga, I think Saturday or Sunday around 12 noon. I have to check. I'm probably totally screwing it up. But I just want to let everybody know, another Element person jumping on, So there is benefits to joining this server. Hint, hint. You can also see shows drop early, so check out the Element server. And now I'll shut up and I'll just let Jonah, let us know. I already know what you're bringing to the table. Just real quick, the reason why I was so excited to have you on and cover it is because you're talking about Janice. And like Teresa can tell you, I've been obsessed with this dude for like the last few months because I'm just like, yo, this guy is everywhere. He's like, it's just, instead of a dude, now we just have a doorway or we just have like something showing duality. That's all it needs to show to be Janice in a sense. And he hit me up with some Janice. He hit me with some Janice stuff and I was like, oh, you got me now. And the Pope. Oh, of course. So, so Jonah, I'll let you introduce what you're kind of showing here. And he does have a slideshow. So if you are able to watch or to watch this after the fact, come back to it. I highly suggest to watch it on video because of the slides.
Oh, I always come with the slideshow, because then, it's
I love it. I love it.
Well, I'm ready to take notes from Professor Jonah, like last time.
They can't say that you're just like right into your mouth or whatever, because then you also back it up with like, hey, here's like, this website says this or like this book says that. So if you want to pull the screen up here, I got a quick, quick introductory screen. So I went with that Two-Faced Deception or Wolf in Sheep's Clothing this time around. And you'll see Janice there. Of course, he's got the key in his hand because he's got the keys to heaven. And then he has the rod because he's the rod bearer and a bunch of other stuff. So there's so much about him that, And then I brought this up here. I did last Friday, was it? I don't know. New Year's Eve. When Pope Benedict died, I did a podcast with General Lee there on Subconscious Realms. And so literally I started talking to him before the show, and I'm like, yeah, like he was sacrificed to Janus. I'm telling you that right now because of the new year. Julius Caesar switched to, like Roman Empire, whatever. Julius Caesar switched the calendar, so Janus would be the first day of the year. And
is that why he did it?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. It's like 45
the working of Jonah's
before
mind.
Christ. So yeah, Julius Caesar actually switched it, and then if you look into the whole way they did the Julian calendar, right? Julius Caesar switched it first, and he had 31 days in July, and August had 30 days, and Augustin Caesar was next or whatever, so he switched in 31 days as well. So they both had the same number of days. So they're quite petty.
Competitive.
Yeah, I see this.
So yeah, when that happened right away, I was like, man, this sounds like a blood sacrifice, to Janus, because they would do the sacrifices to him on the first day of the year, or first day of the year, first day of every month as well.
Oh wow.
Now, with it being the last day, because he's also the god of beginnings and endings. So when they did it on the last day of the year, I was like, this sounds like the ending, right? So something, like they're ushering something out and bringing something in falling, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always thought that, ever since I was like a teenager, I've always thought that the Pope was evil. But, let's first ask, am I a heretic? And I'll go into the next screen. And no, I was actually...
That picture is so cute.
You're awesome, Joe.
That's my first communion. I'm confirmed in Roman Catholic Church. And then I stopped going when I was about old enough for the priest stop fucking, but I never got fucked by them, but I'm just saying.
Oh, man.
That's kind of when I stopped going, well, people who know me know that I'm like super analytical.
Mm-hmm.
But so why did I stop going? Why did I think the Pope was evil? Because the first commandment. So the one thing that when I was a kid, the one thing I could never wrap my head around, first commandment here, it's I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt. So this is off the Vatican site, right? Out of the house of bondage, you shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself a graven image, or any likeness, or anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth below, or that is in the water underneath the earth. You shall not bow down to them or serve them. So right there, I was always like, man, how can you tell me I shall have no other gods or have no other idols, whatever? And then you tell me that you're like literally, the only person who can talk to Jesus or God straight. Fuck that. Like right away, I was like, yeah, no, I don't buy that at all. So when I was looking into this last night, it's kind of funny because I was like, you'll see the web address right at the top, right? It's right off the Vatican website. Now, when you go to the first commandment, the chapter 1 there is first screen. It says, you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul, and with all your mind. That's before they actually give the text that like I grew up with and knew. So I was like, what the fuck? Did they change this shit? And then there's actually an AP fact check to tell you that they did not change it. So I was like, okay, yeah, they definitely changed it, because like if we got a fact check, we all know fact check means it's like they're trying to tell you, they're trying to gaslight you.
Don't look over here. Don't look over here.
So when I saw that, I'm like, what the fuck, seriously? And then there's like all kinds of websites. There's like hundreds or thousands of websites that are like, oh, who gave them the authority to change the like 10 commandments? But then there's like the one fact check, like, oh no, they didn't do it. So I was like, oh goddamn. But that was always the reason that that's always like, because I'm super analytical. I'm like, man, how you can tell me that there's no other, or you can't have other, you can't have idols? There's no one else, and then like you're sitting up there, literally telling us like, hey, I'm the only one who can talk to him. You have to listen to me. I'm infallible. So like,
yeah, it's a little bit questionable.
So yeah, there's actually there's what is it, infallibility, the papal supremacy or whatever, where he says he's completely infallible. Right, Teresa?
I believe that there is that teaching.
Yeah, I forget what the title is. It though.
I'd have to look it up, but
yeah.
I mean, speaking as a
I'm almost positive I have heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's papal supremacy, but even then, it's like, okay, so are you completely infallible your whole life, or just once you get, just once you get promoted?
What about before you were Pope?
Yeah. So it's like, man, like none of this made sense to me, so that's why I was like, man, fuck this church, right? So that's just me, because I'm super analytical in everything I do.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so I'm just actually looking this up here. I think it's called papal supremacy. Yeah. It is the papal supremacy, and then let's see if it says what year it was enacted.
I've never heard of that.
It was defined dogmatically at the First Vatican Council in 1869.
Yeah.
It says that basically it means that it keeps the apostolic tradition from Jesus to Peter, but it doesn't mean that the Pope is not able to sin. It just means that, like, when he's speaking on scripture, he's never wrong, basically. It doesn't mean that he personally is not exempt from sin.
Okay. That's I'll still prove that wrong, too.
Okay.
But
I have trouble with that dogma as well. I don't agree necessarily.
So then, so if you look at this here, like with the new Pope or whatnot, right? So they do, like I grew up and they said, I always remember that vicarious filii die or filii dei or whatever in Latin. Now this just says that there's that's not the actual title, and they gave all these ones here as Bishop of Rome, Vicar of Jesus Christ, successor of the Prince of the Apostles, Supreme Pontiff of the Universal Church, Primate of Italy. Primate? I didn't even know.
Primate? Is it a monkey?
Yeah, like what the fuck's that? Archbishop and Metropolitan of the Roman Province, Sovereign of the State of Vatican City, and Servant of the Servant of God. So those are the like 8 names that this new one taken is like his official title. So, and that's kind of weird too that they get all their own titles, right?
It takes on 8. I find that very interesting.
I should say 8 is weird, like the number itself.
Now the other thing that I had problems with when I
it was published on March 8th.
No, God.
Yeah.
Now the other thing that I had a problem with when so what's vicarious or vicar? You know, so we go here. The top one on. Oh, you guys don't get to see my. So the top one. So this is the Latin English dictionary from like what 1874. There. Pulled this off the website. Whatever. So you go top. The first one right next to like the word dictionary says vicarious is a proxy. The next one, like directly under it, is vicarious also means a substitute. Then the one below that is even funnier. It says a vicar, vicarious. So it's like, okay, cool. Like,
it's like it used the same word to tell you what the word meant. It's like, that doesn't help.
now the top right is the only one that kind of like if you read that generously, the top right is the only one that would be like, so basically he's saying he's a proxy, he's a substitute, right? So he's actually replacing the Son of Jesus Christ or whatever, you know, on the previous slide, what is it here?
Well, yeah, like we say, like live vicariously through somebody, right?
So yeah, vicar of Jesus Christ. So he's a substitute or proxy for Jesus Christ. So I'm like, yeah, no. Like you're gonna tell me that there's no other God but him, but you're gonna be the substitute for him? Fuck off. That's me. Now, the only one on the top right of the screen, the only one that would be a generous reading for them would be under, but that's listed as an adjective, so it wouldn't really fit there in the title. You know what I mean? Oh,
Pontiff.
Then I also looked up pontiff, and I can't read this. What the fuck?
Whoops.
Yo, you know what? That's happened to me. I've gone to do like solo shows by myself, like even on the 17 series when I was covering that. And I'll do these screenshots, and then it's like I'll crop them and stuff. So like I'll clean it up. But then when I go to pull it up on the screen to read it, I'm like, damn, I can't see it now.
Yeah, it's too small. You can't read it. Right?
I'm like, damn, I just screwed up my show. And like now I have to go and like redo everything so I can read it.
I'm just actually opening it up that there real quick, so then I can actually see what it says.
No, that's all right. That's all right. I understand. Like I'm saying, I've done the same thing you're experiencing now. You can't read what you're showing on the screen.
I did it with like when I was putting it all together, but then I didn't actually run it as like a slide presentation. So,
so yeah, no, I know exactly what you're saying.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes I'll go through my screenshots and read them, and then that's what I'll do. I'll make the background video after the fact. It's hard to explain, but like sometimes I'll just read off the screenshots and then I'll just throw the things in there.
Well, I'm using 2 screens, right? So then what you guys are seeing is just the main screen, but then I have like it's actually like a smaller version on the other screen.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
No worries.
Well, I could look it up.
Oh, here we go. It's gonna. No, I got it here. It's probably opening on the screen and sharing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so with Pontiff here, right? Again, that one, like the first one, Pontiff, it just goes like, says high priest or bishop. Now, the reason I download this one here is when we go back to Janus, you know, God of Arches. So this kind of jumped out at me. It says, the word originally meant bridge maker or path maker. And it was felt as such the sense of bridge builder. So again, too, that's kind of like the bridge and the arch. You know what I mean?
Yes. No. I totally agree with that. Actually, I have seen that used. Honestly, you know who I think uses that sometimes or has? Taylor Swift bridges in her videos, and I think it's showing that type of stuff.
That's interesting.
Yeah, she's actually really good. I don't care for her music, but her videos I will watch because whoever produces her music videos. I do like, I hate to say it, I do like their style of occult symbology. They do it a little bit differently than everybody else does.
Oh, that's
Hers has like their own flair for sure.
That's why in Italian we say bridge like Ponte Vecchio is like the point or like it comes from the word pontiff. Oh, I didn't know that.
And I didn't even notice this last night, but it says Century Dictionary speculates it had its origins as having charge wow, I can't read today, of the making or maintenance of a bridge. It is said of the Sublician Bridge built over the Tiber by Antis Marcius. Well, Tiber is actually one of Janus's sons.
Oh, yeah, the Tiber River in Italy.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Oh, that's one of Janus's sons? What?
Who's Janus?
That's what it says, yeah.
And I hear him in the background.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So then we go on to this one here. So again, Vicarious Feli Dei is one. Now, I always thought this was actually an official title. It's not. I don't know if you guys can see the text there, but the top line, it actually says came from the donation of Constantine. Donation of Constantine was Emperor Constantine, and it's a document that's said to be a forgery. So basically, Constantine was the emperor in like 300s, and then he converted to Christianity. And then he was the one who like pimped it all out. You know, all of a sudden like built all the basilicas, and you know, kind of turned it from like a humble whatever. You know what I mean? And then like all the gold, all the flamboyant nature of that, you know, what you see today. So that all goes back to the Emperor Constantine, who took it over.
Interesting.
Now what are you drinking? Didn't you just have like a fucking Red Bull?
Oh, I drink tons of water.
Oh, all right. So don't tell me he's having a Red Bull and like a Monster fucking.
No, that's water.
That's funny.
That purple picture in the top corner. It's actually it's the word Vicarious Feli Dei actually in Roman numerals, which actually totals 666 if you use the Roman numerals.
Oh, damn.
So basically, you'll see on the first word vicarious, the V and the U is 5. So in the Roman language, they didn't actually have a U, so it would have been another V. And that's the values of the Roman numerals. And,
you know what's weird? I just want to say this real quick. I don't know if you remember, Jonah, when we covered the Franklin scandal. There was a game that they said that these dudes or these sick people would make these kids play, and they called it 501. But they said it was because of the genes, where the kids would like, unfortunately, pull the zipper down with their teeth. But they said it was a game called 501. I mean, who knows? But it's just...
And Dei would be God, right, in Latin.
I find that weird.
Or it's the diversity, equity, and inclusion. Wow, they're calling themselves God with that shit, aren't they?
Probably.
Holy
I don't know.
fuck.
I don't know. I mean, it could be really because of the genes, but I just...
No. I'm talking like all that fucking CRT shit. Diversity, diversity, equity, and inclusion, right? So they're calling themselves God in Latin with that bullshit. I didn't even know that. I didn't even think of that, you know? So that's kind of crazy. Then we go to the donation of Constantine. Like I say, this is considered a forgery. So basically, this document appeared in about the 9th century. And so basically, it just showed up one day, and it's where he first said the Vicarious Feli Dei, and he donated a bunch of land in Rome to the Catholic, or the Bishop of Rome. But then, so then in 1400s, this guy Lorenzo Valla, so that's like the last line of the bottom right there. It says Lorenzo Valla showed that the Latin used in the document was not that of the 4th century. So basically, the words weren't in the, like, you know what I mean, in the context for the time it's supposed to be written. And kind of funny too, because then if you look at here, it says Leo the what the hell? Oh, that's 9. Leo IX, so Leo 9 was the first pope to cite it as an authority in an official act. So it's like cool. Like this document's just been there, and then like no one's ever actually brought it up. You know what I mean? And then so I looked up Lorenzo Valla, and he's just like they kind of blow smoke all up his ass, right? Because like now it says he's a humanist.
So he's a humanist.
Yeah, because he like, you know, so basically this is just they're blowing all kinds of smoke up his ass because he like said that's a forgery by figuring out the languages. So I just thought that was kind of funny too, right? Because whether it's a forgery or not, it doesn't really make sense, because if you're supposed to be like a religion, who gives a fuck what the emperor says, right? You know what I mean? So like, you know, it's either like, you know, it's either like, you know,
well, I get what you're saying. It's like, if you're a religion, why are you taking what somebody who runs a country to tell you what the truth is?
Yeah, it's either like, you know, it's coming down from a prophet, or like in Catholicism, it's coming down from an apostle or Jesus, right? It's who gives a fuck. Especially too, especially too, if you think like give unto God what is his and give unto Caesar what is his, you know. So like, who cares, right? So if Constantine's direct lineage from, like, you know, I mean, like from as far as emperors, right? So who cares, right? Give unto Caesar what this is.
Mm-hmm.
So then I just kind of wanted to show people who Constantine is. So basically, he was the first of the Roman emperors who actually got into the Christianity or whatever, right? He was also the first one who he actually hosted the Council of Nicaea, which was actually like the first time all the church leaders from all over the world got together. And then if you look here on that second picture with my horrible scribbling for highlighting,
It's better than me.
you'll see that it says the triumphal arch erected in his honor at Rome after the defeat of Max. What the hell? I don't even know how to say that. Ascribed to the victory to the inspiration of the divinity, as well as Constantine's own genius. Now let's go all the way down to the second highlighting, which is also scribbly. It says pagan orator who is in a speech of 3/10 referred to the vision of Apollo received by Constantine at the Shrine of Gaul. So again, Apollo wouldn't necessarily be like Catholicism or Christianity or whatnot, you know what I mean?
You know, and Janus on the lower arc would be, in my opinion, would be Chesed, which would be the number 4th sphere on the Tree of Life. So, I mean, and not to just say, like, I guess if you want to play with gematria and numbers, the 310 would add up to 4 as well. And 4 would be, in my opinion, the lower arc of Janus on the Tree of Life. And he would be the number 2.
Yeah. I'm not really that all good.
Yeah, no, I'm just throwing that in there. You don't have to have anything to say about it.
Now we again, I pulled this off of Britannica, Encyclopedia Britannica, I think it was. Mm-hmm. But then it says his commitment to Christianity of Constantine I. So the first one that jumps out at me here, he allowed to confirm a number of political and dynastic arrangements. So dynastic, right? So dynasty, whatnot. Mm-hmm. Again, too, like, if the lineage is supposed to be straight from, like, you know, Jesus on down, how is the emperor confirming that, right? And then also he's giving them political arrangements, right? And then the next highlight says, by 313, donated to the Bishop of Rome the imperial property of the Lateran, where a new cathedral, the Basilica Constantinius, or Constantinians, whatever. So he actually donated land and had a basilica named after him, which is like the first basilica. The Church of St. Sebastian was also probably begun at this time. And it was their early years of its reign that Constantine began issuing laws conveying upon the church and its clergy fiscal and legal privileges and immunities from civic burdens. So again, he just like started like taking over as far as like, you know, political side of it. And then the one on the top right, I have the there even in its time. So this was Constantine's chief concern was that a divided church would offend the Christian God and so bring divine vengeance upon the Roman Empire and Constantine himself. Schism, in Constantine's view, was inspired by Satan. So basically, unless the church completely united under him, it would be by Satan, right? Mm-hmm. So again, too, like this is all stuff like I knew a lot of this, but not to this detail, because like even back then you had to go like get books or whatever from the library when I was like 90s, early 92, 93, something like that. Probably haven't been to the church since then. Like I said, I was too old for the priest to fuck,
Well, it's interesting, like going back to the word pontiff, right? Like a pontiff would be the bridge to like unite schism, you think, right? And then it just made me think too, like it's weird, like in the Thor movie, Thor: Love and Thunder, doesn't his hammer make like a rainbow bridge or something, or like
that goat rides on? They got a goat that pulls the thing. They ride on like a rainbow bridge.
Yeah, and then but doesn't the hammer, like, I think what's the hammer called, Mjolnir or something? Doesn't it like make the portal between their world and then like the path to God, basically, when they go to like the eternal? I'm pretty sure.
I know the hammer is involved with them moving wherever they're going with that ship.
When they get past that, like,
I just don't remember exactly
portal.
how it fits in, but he would not be riding that, I don't think, if he had his hammer. If he didn't have the hammer with him, or whatever that.
Yeah, I just thought that was weird.
I have no idea. Fuck Hollywood. Fuck $1 million movies with nothing to say.
Just
fuck
one
sex,
of my random
fuck guys who take up the butt. and since you want to bring up Hollywood, I didn't include this in this presentation, but the Screen Actors Guild, Two-Face is Janice. So literally the union of all the actors is Janice's face.
Yeah, well, even the symbol for drama is like the two masks, right?
Yeah.
A sad and happy mask or whatever.
So, like I was saying, the First Council of Nicaea is basically, Constantine decided to become a Christian, and then he wanted to unite them all under him or whatever, whatnot. So, if I looked into I know about it, but again, too. So, I looked it up just so I could present some things. Now, the first highlight I have on the left-hand side there, it says, further, Constantine, in convoking and presiding over the council, signaled a measure of imperial control over the church. Then I found this even more. So the one on the right-hand side here, resplendent in purple and gold, Constantine made a ceremonial entrance at the opening of the council, probably in early June, but respectfully seated the bishops ahead of himself. He was present as an observer, but he did not vote. Constantine organized the council along the lines of the Roman Senate. And then, I don't even know how to say that guy's name, so I'm not going to try. Presided over its deliberations. He probably, and the two priests of Rome, certainly came as representatives of the Pope.
Two priests of Rome? Who's the two priests of Rome?
It doesn't say it here, but again, too, the Pope, if you look above, was Pope Sylvester Stallone. I mean, one.
Rocky was Pope.
Balboa Park.
Man.
So the Pope declined to attend due to infirmity, it says. So basically, he was sick or claimed to be sick. And it says, but he was represented by two priests.
Interesting. No, the two just reminds me of like the Two-Faced, or like the twins, like Romulus and Remus or whatever.
Yeah. And I find it funny that the Pope didn't attend, but the Emperor did, and he made like this grand in the purple and gold, which is also the royal colors,
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if the twins and the tarot cards and like the ones with the chariot, I'm wondering now if those are like lower versions of like different aspects of him.
Oh, I'll get to that. And then the last screen there, it says other problems. Finally, the council promulgated 20 new church laws called canons. Now, the first one actually makes me laugh. Prohibition of self-castration. Like, is this something that they had to worry about?
What?
I don't know what. Oh, jeez.
Oof. Self-castration.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, I guess like the Kundalini type thing, right?
That's a whole different type of dedication. I mean, at that point, just take a samurai sword and off yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to go that far, just fucking take it all.
Go all the way.
I mean, come on. You're already taking that away.
Well, you think of all this hermaphrodite and whatever they're pushing now, right? The trans and hermaphrodite things, right? So, and of course, Janice is a hermaphrodite because Diana or whatever, and then he's you go back. So first he was Janus, and Iona. So then, when you're researching this, there's also like with the languages, there's so like he has like 100 names probably. So it's kind of like when you research it, it's like, okay, like if I switch this letter here, oh, there we go. I found a ton more information. But then, so even in the First Council of Nicaea here, that one that's highlighted, exceptional authority acknowledged for the patriarchs of Alexandria and Rome for their respective religions. So basically, even when they left the First Council of Nicaea, they like basically said there's two like higher ups, right? So. And then let's go on to the next one here, which is the Great Schism of 1054, I think it is, but it's moving slowly. Am I still here?
Yeah.
No sound. Okay, my sound just went out. The hell?
Yeah, it did get quiet, but I think that's because Teresa turned off her mic.
Man, my computer's been fucked ever since I've been researching this. I swear to God, someone's like, hey, no. What's this guy doing with all this information, right? Fuck that. Because I really think that literally, so with him, he was the god of gods. Now, if you're saying like the Roman Empire actually invaded the church and expanded all the way over, right? So they're still in the lineage of the Roman Empire is basically what I'm alleging, right? So like they're running everything, you know.
Mm-hmm.
If you think of like even Project Gladio, where they're the CIA was running heroin with the mafia and the Roman Catholic Church, and they were actually doing all the banking through the Vatican. And then when like I think it was, I forget. I think it was like I want to say it was like in the billions. Went missing from the bank in Milan, which was the public bank.
Is that what Godfather 3 is based on?
Shit.
I'm not sure, but so that banker ended up getting hung in London off of Blackfriars Bridge, and then they called it a suicide. But then his wife wouldn't give up, and then a bunch of investigators were like, "Yeah, there's no way he could have committed suicide where he was. Like, literally, could not have done it."
Yeah, that's the one. It's the basis for Godfather 3.
Yeah,
that story. Yeah.
Yeah, so I get into all that on the subconscious realms, but when I do that show, it's just all like literally free flow, which is great. But then, so the Great Schism of 1054 is kind of when they split the Orthodox versus the Catholic. And then basically for coming out of that, the Bishop of Rome was already powerful in the West, but after the Great Schism was the single legitimate bishop in the eyes of Western Christians. So basically, from there, he was considered like that's when the Pope became the number one on top of all, right? So that's also something that I always had a problem with it when I was like, you know, being raised in the Catholic Church. I'm like, oh, man, we know that like there was like if you look back at all of the councils or whatever, there was more than one authority for the first 1,000 years. Like, so for me, I'm like, how do you just justify that, right? Mm-hmm. So you have empowered papacy. So I put here, did Constantine convert to Christianity, or did Christianity convert to Constantine? Now, earlier I showed you how they said that they had the arch that was built to Constantine. Well, it's actually known as the Arch of Janus.
Yeah, I've even come across that looking into Janus stuff. I probably have a picture of that in my computer too.
Yeah, so this is the four. So Janus can also have four faces. It's called the quadriphronous. So with the two is bifronous. So you know, bi is obviously two, and then with he can have the three faces, which was with the Knights Templar. They had that, and they called it the Trinity. But I'll do that next episode. So there's going to be more than one of these because there's so much information, right?
That's perfect. That's fine with me. My next 2 Fridays.
So then it's like, who's Janus, right? So, you know, just quick here. And this is off of, again, Encyclopedia Britannica. And the first thing it says here is spirit of doorways and archways. Janus and the nymph, whatever. I can't even read these names.
It's all right. I'm just as bad.
Well, man, I can barely speak English. Don't expect me to speak like, you know, Italian or fucking Latin or whatever.
I could see a figure. I could read it for you.
And then, so here you go. The worship of Janus traditionally dated back to Janus, or no, to Romulus, in a period even before the actual founding of the city of Rome. So again, too, we'll get into that too. So I just want to point that out. So then, when I bring up Romulus later.
Isn't Romulus the name of? And I know I've mentioned that show. Damn it, I forgot the name of it. It's about
Succession or whatever.
Yeah, Succession. Yeah, the Romulus is like the guy's son, and like there's other names in that show that like go back to like old it's really weird. It's I definitely think it's like showing an old story. It's just following an old story.
Again, fuck Hollywood, but I know I heard you bring it up before. So then you have they say he's the god of arches, right? So I looked up again in Latin. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's just put the word arch in and put the word arch in the Latin dictionary and see what comes up with it. So arche is an authentic copy of the original of a writing, and actually that's not the one I wanted. Archangelus or whatever, so an archangel. He's the god of archangels. Then the next one, Archetti, whatever, anything at first hand. Then the next one, I don't know how to read it either. It's just an arch. And then Archiepiscopus, an archbishop, so he's also got those people. And then next one, Archimagirius, so that's a master cook. Archimenimus, the principal. Pirata, so pirate, whatever that is.
Oh, she got Archon in there too.
Well, Arch means like supreme as well, yeah. Right? So,
and then here I'll get to the good ones in here. Architectonic, so that's the art or science of building. So master builder, Freemasonry. Mm-hmm. Then next one here that's important or whatever. Here we go. Architectus, an architect, a master builder, a chief mason, carpenter. And then the last one, Archon, chief magistrate. So he's like the god of all those, right, too, if you think about it. So the god of arches.
I was watching something recently where I think it was something random that popped up on YouTube, and it went into... I think they were covering the idea of like the whole story, I guess, of Jesus flipping the table with the money on it because people were like, playing with money. And they were going on like, well, what kind of jobs and what kind of stuff was even going on then that was producing money? And I guess they were just like trying to get into like what kind of, things were being made and built back then. And they had even went into that they were saying these, it was like some history special or whatever. These supposed archaeologists, I don't know, these specialists or whatever, were saying that it actually does not make sense that Jesus worked with wood at all. They said he was not a carpenter, he was a stonemason. They're like, he built shit with stones. And I'm like, well, if you look at it like that, a lot of other stuff makes a lot of sense, too, with Jesus. I hate to say
about it, too, right? From the pictures I've seen of Israel, there's not too many trees there, right? So if that's where everything occurred, it kind of makes sense that he wouldn't be like a carpenter because there's no fucking trees there.
Yeah, they were like, he was building with mud and brick.
There is the passage that it says like, those who rejected the cornerstone, which I think in masonry there is like the key at the top of the arch is cancer. So they remove the cornerstone, right? And that Jesus is the cornerstone that the builders rejected. Right?
Yeah. Now, also on this here for Janus, the last paragraph says some scholars regard Janus as the god of all beginnings and believes that his association with doorways is derivative. He was invoked as the first of any gods in regular liturgies. The beginning of the day, month, and year, both calendrical and agricultural, were sacred to him. The month of January is named for him, and his festival took place on January 9th. Agonium. There were several important temples erected to Janus, and it is assumed that it was also an early cult on Janiculum, which ancients took to mean the city of Janus. Now, Janus also ties to Mithra, and there was a cult of Mithras.
Yep.
So again, too, like literally everything goes back to this one here.
It's So interesting too, Jonah, on that screenshot, it's talking about predating like the founding of Rome. There were many Janai, the ceremonial gateways of Rome.
Yep.
So I don't know if you guys have seen that show, Wheel of Time.
No.
Okay, so they travel like
if it's on TV or anything, I haven't seen it.
It's on Prime. They travel through like different like areas of where they are in this like fantasy world through these like archways that are just like in the middle of nowhere. So you step into the archway and then you're like in another place.
Well, what about Stargates too, right?
Yeah, same, right?
I know that's a stupid television show, but like I say, fuck Hollywood, fuck them today.
Yeah, but maybe they're showing us something that's, you know, it's a theme throughout history.
Yeah, but if he's the god of arches, and then the Stargate they're traveling through, so he's the god of like you know, coming here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's also Saturn. So it was like so much everything. Now this next one here, now the picture on the right, I put that in because that kind of looks like the Tree of Life to me, like Kabbalah, you know what I mean? With the flowers in the top corners to throw you off, and then the right hand, it has the dove on the top one.
Yeah, I mean, it's very Kabbalah-esque for sure. I mean, I would, yeah.
So when I saw this, because this was actually just, I wanted to show everyone, like, I'm literally getting this from books. Like, this one's from 1833, so I'm not, like, pulling from, like, the new shit where they change our history on us.
Yeah.
And then on this one here, the one important thing here that I was bringing this up for is the bottom right one. It says, Janus was seated in the center of 12 altars in allusion to the 12 months of the year and had on his hands fingers to the amount of days in the year. Am I still here? Like, my headphones are all fucked up.
No, you're doing fine.
Okay.
No, I'm just listening to you.
Like, my headphones just keep, like, sound completely out. And not like at the start when I turned you off while you're speaking, because I just don't. But I'm like that. I'm like, even when I have a chick in my life, I'm like, hey, like, if a chick wants to argue with me, I'm like, hey, argue with yourself all you want, and I'll wake me up when you're done. That's just me. I don't have the time for that shit. But I've talked to you personally about that. So, anyways,
yeah.
Now the other thing on the bottom right hand here says the sacrifice was a ram, and so basically here,
they would with the first zodiac, Aries.
Yeah, they would sacrifice a ram to Janus at the start, right? So again, too, like when I said like it was, to me, like here the Pope died, and it was all like a closed casket too, right? So it may not have been a sacrifice; it could have also been an egregore, right? But again, too, what the fuck is going on with these goddamn headphones?
Sorry.
Sorry, it might be me because I have to keep muting myself.
No, it's my headphones. Like, okay. It's the sound goes out.
Sorry.
Well, it sounds like it when she clicks out. You do hear a difference. So.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. It happens.
So yeah, again here, I gotta throw myself off there, but so yeah, what I was saying is like when I heard that the Pope died, I'm like, man, this is a sacrifice, blood sacrifice, you know. And then now with it being all closed casket and stuff too, I was like, okay, maybe it would have been like even an egregore, like because he's old in age, right? So if like maybe he died like 2 months ago, why not throw his body on ice and just then bury him? You know, so then they get the power of actually on the day of Janus announcing it, right? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's like literally when I heard that, I'm like, man, this is blood sacrifice. That was the first thing I went to because I don't trust any of these, like, you know. Again, too, like they're like the Catholic is, you know, honoring Jesus, and then they're the most flamboyant, gold everywhere. You know, it's like, wait a minute, there's nothing humble about the way the Roman Catholic Church is. So to me, I'm like,
yeah, that is true.
With that, yeah, that's pretty funny actually.
And literally, they were very humble. They were like hiding in houses. Then Constantine comes in, and they're just building like these massive structures. Which is, again, too, I think it's all like the Catholic or the Roman Empire.
I mean, what do you think the money was probably made out of back in the day when he was supposedly flipping the table with it on there? It was probably out of fucking precious metals.
Yeah, that was
for sure.
But then the Catholic Church is everything's precious metals.
And that was also, wasn't that the Philistines, which was like the priests of the Jewish religion? I think that's what it was.
I don't know.
And they were doing it on Sabbath, right? So, yeah. I think it was,
yeah, they were like changing money in the temple. That was the problem, I think.
and I think it was the priest class, right? So then,
I don't know. I think they did in the temple. He wasn't a fan.
no, but I think the story goes that it was the priest class of the Jewish religion that was doing it, right?
Maybe I don't know. Sorry.
So that's when he turned it over or whatever. So again, too, that would kind of be like, hey, the Roman Church also took over like the Jewish rabbis or whatever you want to call them, right? Mm. It could be a way to look at it. I'm not saying it's accurate, but then here's another book from 1876 here, Grecian and Roman mythology. So then when you look into this one here, I want to point out like Osiris and then Sam Hercules. I don't even know how to say that next name. And others, he represents the year personified. And its development through the 12 signs of the zodiac. So again, too, he's basically representing the whole zodiac. And on the second screen, text that I took, he was also called Father, and the Salai invoked in their hymns to God of gods. So again, too, he would be like kind of like the supreme, omnipotent, or whatever, omnipresent, all that shit.
Is that why we call priest father?
Possibly.
Ah.
Again, too, right? Like, how much do we know about like the text before Constantine and all came into power, right?
Right.
And then it says the priest offered sacrifices on 12 altars as to the beginner of 12 months and prayed to him at the commencement of every day. So this is all like before the Catholic Church, but again, too, just showing the significance of Janus and who he is. Next one is it's called Mythology of All Ages. Again, too, what the fuck? MDCC. So that's like 1800. L is 55, I guess.
That's old.
On the bottom of the page.
Yeah, it's old. It's old enough.
And if people are wondering, I just go to the Library of Congress because then you can like pull anything that they have on there for free.
Yeah, I was telling. Yeah, I think I had mentioned that to Teresa, or maybe somebody I had told yesterday that you were coming on my show. I was like, this dude's even like on the Library of Congress, making sure he like pulls like original copies.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
right to the source. Jeez.
And it's kind of funny because like to both of you, I send them like the text version. And it's like, hey, are these people retired? Or are they like they can't type? But then it's like, as you read more of these books, it's like, no. The F and the S were used completely fucking different in like 1700.
So was the V. The V was like used for U and W sometimes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But again, too, like a lot of them, like I haven't pulled any of those books on here yet because I have like 40 books too here about just gather the information. But it'd be like misunderstanding or whatever, unless they just say the S, like the F is the NS. So it's just like because it's MIF UNDERF TAND. I'm like, what the fuck?
MILF.
So it's kind of weird. And then, so from that book here, you have Janus, of whom mention is under Saturn. So again, too, the keys, Saturn crossover. So I guess the other face, the Diana, would be the Scarlet Whore, possibly. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then it says here, but admitting that Janus, according to the generally received opinion, was the patriarch Noah. So basically, they also say that Janus is Noah, or one of his immediate descendants who settled in Italy. The name may be derived from the Hebrew Jajin. Didn't when you mention that earlier. And then, or it may be a variation of Janet. Oh, what the hell? I can't read that one. I hate these old languages. Or the Babylonic, again, too, I can't read that name. Of which more will be said hereafter. So basically, they're saying he's Noah. It also goes back to the Babylonian language or whatever. I don't know. Fuck all that shit. I'm too retarded to speak English and read it, so don't give me the old languages. Yeah, I'm great with numbers, but when it comes to like this language, I just don't even process like that way. So then you see on the second screen here, it says those who think him to have being the representative of Noah suppose that it was intended to note that he could see both the old world before the deluge and the new world after.
The pontiff, the bridge.
Yep. And then the bottom here, this just seems really interesting to me, but it says, in the next place, he was considered as the janitor of the year. And all of the months, the first of which January took its name from him. Hence, it was the 12 altars that were dedicated to him. So the janitor thing just seems odd to me because, like, a janitor isn't really anything, like today.
Yeah, I did come across that not too long ago. I don't know if I mentioned it when I had Raven on because I think he's mentioned that he was a janitor. I think he's like said it on the show. I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting though that like the janitor does go back to Janus.
And actually, I didn't even notice this when I was putting this all together here. It says, whatever the fuck that word is. It informs us that the statue of Janus, which was dedicated by Numa, had its fingers so composed as to signify the number of 365 days, and that he was the god of years, times, and ages. So this guy's just god of everything, right?
Yeah, I just looked up the etymology of janitor because I was like, "Whoa, that's so weird." So it comes from the Latin word for door, janua, and it's like a porter or like a doorkeeper or like an usher.
Yeah,
crazy.
And again, too, right? So the Roman Empire is also the ones who burned down or destroyed the Library of Alexandria, right? So another way to look at it is pretty much all the texts that we have are only texts that were created after they destroyed all knowledge before that. You know what I mean? Because so it is kind of funny that so pretty much everything that we have now is only since they were the empire of the world. Moving on to the next one. Here we have, this is from a book called Hebrew Mythology. But you'll see here, that's just the cover of it. Now, it doesn't really have anything in the book directly about Janus. But you'll see here that it actually has Noah at the top of the 12 zodiacs, right?
Okay.
So again, too, that just shows like all this stuff is saying that like he's the god or whatever.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah, so, it's just a different symbol for Janus.
The 12 zodiacs sit at his feet. Again, he's the god of archangels, archons, etc. What the fuck? Give me a second here.
Yeah, something's going on.
I pulled the one screen HDMI cable. See if that pulls up the earphone because it's just keep going out. So I have no sound at all in my ears.
Oh, okay.
As long as I'm talking, it's good, right? But then you
can't hear us.
Then you also see that. Well, I guess I'm just acting ignorant, talking over you, but. But what's also interesting, so he was at the top of the zodiac, right? So he had the 12 gods at his feet, so he's the god of archons, archangels, all that shit, right? But then you'll see that the seasons are divided into 3, and each of Noah's sons have one of the seasons at their feet, or like whatever, the 4 zodiacs. So I've never seen that before, and I thought that was interesting to include, right? I'm sure there's some sort of, like, if you look into it, some sort of
this is an interesting picture to me.
To the pillar.
Makes me think the ark was like navigating the waters of heaven. Not even like waters of earth. That's crazy. Like whatever. Waters above, waters below.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think like someone who may be more intelligent with like all the Kabbalah than I am, I'm thinking that those could also represent the 3 pillars, right?
Yeah, I was thinking the supernal triad. Yeah.
Okay.
The same thing. Yeah.
Well, the supernal triad then like.
The 3 pillars that'd be the 3 pillars like you're saying. Yeah.
So Janice, Noah, whatever would be Keter or above Keter, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, or maybe he's Dot. Right?
Yeah, that could be too.
Because then you have the three sons or whatever, and then he would be Dot, where you combine all three of them.
Well, Dot, I also think isn't really an experience unless somebody's crossed already. So then you have gone between the gates.
So he'd be above that, right? So that would make sense.
Yeah, or like if he's there at the beginning and the end, then he would be, I guess, maybe when you came back as well. It's hard to explain, but like
yeah. I just like when I saw this, and again, this is just to cover the book. I'm like, man, there's so much in here.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm almost done. I have like 2 slides left for this, but then I got tons of shit for next week.
All right.
So then I looked up wolf in sheep's clothing, like where the saying comes from or whatever. Because like even then when I gave you you asked me what the title is, I'm like, I literally just like, two-faced deception, wolf in sheep's clothing, right? And then I was like, okay, cool, just because they're both kind of the same thing, you know what I mean?
I was going to say, like, even before the show, I was just like, and with the intro that I have to say today, I was like, this really just makes the fucking episode sound worse.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, at one point I was just like, I even made sure I included Jonah because, I didn't want somebody to think that I was automatically coming out with that, and that's only it.
And I always come out with, like, all kinds of, like, researched information, so.
Yeah.
And
going. I'm sorry.
So... I found this really interesting, and it says for wolf in sheep's clothing, the origin and variants. The phrase originates in the Sermon on the Mount by Jesus, recorded by the Christian New Testament. Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. Whatever the fuck that word means.
Ravenous.
So then let's go on here. No, which is kind of funny because I didn't even think of this, but the ties that I just actually made just by selecting that phrase, and again, too, maybe it was inserted in the Bible to say this shit. Romulus. Romulus and the wolf, which was also brought to him by Janice, right?
Was it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Stop it.
So again, too, like if you think about it, so Romulus, Rome, the wolf. So the wolf to begin with. In sheep's clothing, sheep, shepherd, Jesus.
And like wolf is so prevalent in so many things. I mean, look how important a wolf is in Native American stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's interesting how like the same things can like be used a lot.
Now, like I say, it doesn't say it here, but if we go back when I brought up Romulus the first time, when he built the city of Rome, it was so they built the city to Janus, right? Because Janus brought the wolf that helped him save and the Sabbatine girls or whatever. So like that whole story. But again, too, like literally, I gave you the title for this, and then I was like, okay, cool. Let's just look up the origin of that word. I'm like, and then it's right in the Bible. And I'm like, oh wait, Romulus, the Rome, So I was like, God damn. And then you can end the presentation or the share there.
Oh, okay, all right. You don't want to leave out the black screen?
And then it's kind of funny because like literally, man, I could do so that was like 30 slides. I have like another 50 already set aside. I'm like, God damn it.
Oh, is that, and that's probably like all more on Janice actually now too, right?
No. So that's like just getting introduced to him. So going into next week, I'll give you a little hint here. I'm gonna go to the Crusades.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Gonna go because that's obviously directly involved with the Roman Catholics. Knights Templar, Baphomet, the origin of the word Baphomet.
Yeah, we talked about that before. That's true. Yeah, we've already kind of. Yeah, I find that. I mean, if you do think about it, it's just a different direction. For Baphomet. I mean, it's still showing dualism.
No. I'm gonna blow your mind.
Oh, okay, all right. No, it's just I do think it's really easy to actually see if you want to look at it in the most of basic ways. It's dualism. Same thing as Janus again.
I'll blow your mind right now. Do you know where the word Baphomet comes from?
I mean, I've heard it's supposedly from the Knights Templars, but
where the actual word comes from?
I don't know.
He told me yesterday, so I can't say.
It's a bastardization of the word Mahomet. Who's Muhammad?
Is that going back to Muhammad?
Yep. And the Assassins, the Knights Templar, where they switched over.
Oh, okay.
So
there's stuff because I think I've even heard stories supposedly where like the Knights Templar and I think we're kind of they're with associated with having problems. I think with like Muslim groups.
Well, they also actually got converted over to the Assassins, right? Like when you're doing with Jack, whatever. So with the Assassins, they allegedly got converted over to whatever under the Assassins because they got completely destroyed in a war. One of the wars with the Assassins there. And then, so Baphomet is also Janus. Janus is also the key holder, so then... tie that in with St. Peter, the key holder.
That's why I think sometimes jail is used in movies and shows.
And if you
literally,
look at St. Peter,
that doesn't have the key, and that's why he got locked up.
Yeah. And if you look at St. Peter, right, so the way they, again, just going back, this is all my opinion, and I'm not saying anything else with anyone else, but I've always thought that the Pope was evil, but then as I got older, I'm like, man, this guy's the Antichrist. But that's me. Whatever. I don't. No one else. I'm not a heretic. I was confirmed, so I could say this all my entire life as long as I ask for repentance before I die. I'm good.
Yeah.
At least that's what they say. Just like the mafia, right?
Oh my God!
That shit used to crack me up when I was around them in prison. It was just like, yo, why are you worried about going to fucking church? That was their thing to do. Like, it was a big hoopla for them to go to church. And it's like, what the fuck does it matter after everything else you've done? Like, and what you're still doing in here. Why does it matter?
Well, it's like Godfather 3.
You just want to go there to talk to the other ones.
Michael Corleone has his, first confession in, however many years. And he's there for, who knows how long, right? That's the belief. If you repent, you're good.
Yeah. Jonah, do you want to plug anything of yours? I mean, I think I do have your Instagram, I think, maybe in the bottom.
Yeah,
I don't even know if that's one even good. Is it still the same? You've had the same account, right? Because I know at one point you had a problem with something, but you came back, right?
Yeah, I mean...
They're always banning you and giving you issues.
Not recently. I haven't been as vulgar. But even then, the last one I got banned for was, Justin Trudeau, I'm Canadian anyway, so Justin Trudeau said something really retarded.
I have to be honest with you. You do post some crazy stuff, but the things that you have shown me that they've actually bitched about, I'm like, why that out of everything? You had everything he posts. That was what you gave him a strike.
Yeah. Basically, what I said is I took a direct from Trudeau, and I was like, literally, I switched it up and I said, "Fuck you, Canadian people." So I just quoted him as I paraphrased him and said, "Fuck you, Canadian people," and that's what they banned me on.
That's funny. Wow. But yeah, your link is in the bottom. I also do want to mention to everybody who's listening right now, before you end, tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern time, we will be showing, I remembered and forgot. It's wild. I wouldn't have forgot when it came, but I almost did forget. So I do actually have to get going so I can take care of other things after this. Tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern, we are going to be showing Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me, the whole movie, inside the Element. If you don't have Element, check it out now. Use it on the computer. You don't even have to get an app. We'll be doing we'll be all jumping into a room together and watching Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me at 6 p.m. tonight. So, maybe bring some snacks and a drink or whatever. It should probably take you a little bit. I think that movie's probably about an hour and a half, maybe longer. I don't know. So it should be fun. I will be there. I will jump in, and I will probably be stoned just talking silly, crazy, outlandish stuff about the symbolism I think I see as we're watching it. Our resident Twin Peaks guy, Arnold, will be there. He's always got jewels to drop. So definitely check that out. And I'm hoping maybe other people can as well from the Element server. I know it may not work well with everybody's hours, but, Eric or Asha or anybody else or Helen, they always got, they're there if they can. So check it out tonight. All right, Arnold's telling me 2 hours long. If you got 2 hours of time to hang out or just a half hour, jump in and check it out. Twin Peaks, 6 p.m. Eastern time. And that's enough out of me. The links for Teresa's show and the show that I co-host with her is in the bottom. Actually, I only put my link tree in there because I'm including her stuff in there as well. So and I've even actually changed like the whole thing. It says the links for the spiritual gangsters. So it's all there in that one thing under in the details in the show notes. And Jonah's is down there for his Instagram. I'm done. I need to go take care of some stuff before the Twin Peaks tonight. Hope everybody enjoyed the live. Thank you for everybody who did jump in and comment. We had a decent amount of people for this time during the day. That is what's up. That's why I do it. Thank you, J-Mac. Thank you, Arnold. Thank you, Hawkett. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Uncanny, Helen, Elisa, Charmaine. Everybody who jumped in. That's what's up. That's why I do it. And until the next one, everybody be well. Later.